And another one is, you know, we have a National Emergencies Act, and it says if you proclaim an emergency, Congress has to review it within 6 months. We had an emergency proclaimed on September 14th, 2001. It's still in force. It gets renewed every year, and Obama has just renewed it for a third time. Congress is required by law to review that and hasn't done it. And when a congressman and I tried to get a campaign going here, ask your congressman why this is not happening. And one congressman said, oh, well, that law was overridden by continuity of government. Well, if that's true, then that's clear evidence that we don't have our Constitution anymore.
And you're bringing up, of course, Congressman DeFazio and others, people on the Homeland Security Committee, including the chairman, said, let us see the full presidential decision directive for COG. The cover sheet said the president, for any reason, any crisis, including economic, can suspend Congress. And they were told, you're not high enough security clearance. And for those that don't know, the Congress is co-equal to the president in power, separation of powers, legislative, judicial, executive. If you really read what most of the founders said, and Thomas Jefferson, really, Congress, because it's more diverse, is really even more powerful than the president. And here's Bush saying, you can't see this. And now, as you said, Obama has continued this. This is just dreadful.
And no political party is making an issue out of this. I'm very disappointed with the Tea Party because they want more limited government, but government is being stripped of its existing limitations in our lifetime before our eyes, and nobody is raising a complaint in Congress about this.
The republic is dying with a whimper, not a bang. But you mentioned that there is an awakening, and that's what I see traveling the country, doing radio shows, not just my own. The vast majority of people are really awake to 9/11 and other issues. They know they're being lied to. Confidence in this kleptocracy, this corporate fascist system is at an all-time low. Every poll shows that. But I saw a hoax for the 10th anniversary. I had reporter after reporter call me, TV, BBC, print, and say, how do you feel? And I'd say, wait a minute, after the fourth or fifth call, how do I feel now that 9/11 truth's dead, right? And they go, how'd you know I was going to answer that? Well, that's the talking point. I've already gotten 6 calls this week, and then I got, 10 more. And I said, what, your editor told you that was what you were writing about? And they said, yeah. And I said, don't you see? So they're desperate if they're putting out a talking point that 9/11 truth is dead. It's kind of like, declaring Mark Twain was dead 20 years before he was dead. He said, rumors of my demise have been greatly exaggerated. They've got to be desperate to put this thing to bed so they can stage another terror attack.
They have, the greater incongruity is, on the one hand, they're saying that 9/11 truthers are a bunch of idiots who don't know their hands from their feet. And on the other hand, they're saying they're so dangerous that they actually have a man in the State Department and another man in the White House whose job it is to combat the 9/11 truth movement, even though we're supposed to be a bunch of idiots. I went through years of government obfuscation on the Kennedy assassination, but they never appointed people whose job it was to persuade people that Lee Harvey Oswald did it alone. This is a new development, thought control, that the Americans are being told that they have to think one way about 9/11, and we will fight anyone who thinks a different way.
Peter Dell Scott, that is very well said, that they've had to have Cass Sunstein and others, White House regulations are saying our #1 mission is infiltrate 9/11 truth, get them infighting, put out ridiculous conspiracies to stop them. They could bring us down, but then separately, these people are morons. And we're like, but we have the police on tape saying, get back, they're going to blow up 7. We have the hijackers being brought into the U.S. and protected. We have, the head of the visa section at the embassy saying this. We have thousands of pieces of evidence. We have the passports magically coming to the ground and being found. We have all this common sense stuff, and their answer is, oh, you're just a bunch of kooks. But in their internal memos, they're like, we've got to stop them. And I've talked to Wayne Madsen, who's confirmed they have a whole 10-year unit in the NSA to spy on American government workers and officials and to stop leaks on 9/11. What does that tell you right there in the final close?
Well, I just want you, because you have a big audience here, much bigger than I normally get, and what they should be demanding that the political process of this country deal with the law breaking that has gone on about 9/11, the CIA withholding vital information from the FBI, vital information that could have prevented 9/11 from happening. Congress looked at this once, and most of the relevant part of their report is still withheld. That report should be released in toto, and there should be a new investigation. And people listening to this show, it's their job to get Congress to do its job.
It certainly is. Mr. Scott, is there any particular site or book you'd like to point people towards?
Well, I point towards my own book, American War Machine, which you can get on Amazon, and I definitely, for people who want to get into the smaller points, but the technical points, this new book by Kevin Fenton, Disconnecting the Dots. You see that the CIA had the dots connected, and then they disconnected them for the FBI. That's for people who want to do it, well, you might say a graduate course on 9/11, but it's a very good book.
Yeah, the deep minutiae, but that's where you find it. The devil's in the details. Peter Dell Scott, Professor, great having you on with us.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's it for this extended transmission, another week of InfoWars Nightly News. I want to remind all of the viewers out there that all of this is listener-supported. And if you'd like to spread the word about the broadcast, please become a subscriber to PrisonPlanet.tv. This has been a very powerful interview. I'll probably re-air it when I'm live this Sunday, 4 to 6 p.m. And if you don't have a local AM or FM affiliate for that show, you can always listen on the free streams at Infowars.com. Well, have a safe and blessed weekend. We will defeat this tyranny. We don't have a choice. I'm Alex Jones signing off from the front lines of the InfoWar. See you back here live, 7 o'clock next Monday.